Good evening. This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out Singapore, and we are a multi-million valuation company, 100% profitable and 100% cash rich. Unlike Paytm, Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, Policy Bazaar, Cartrade, Nikia, Delivery, Oyo, and many such great unicorns. We are not a unicorn, but 100% profitable and no fake valuation and zero debt. I repeat, zero debt. Many of you who knew me personally knew that I worked in a treasury department. As a corporate treasurer, I handled almost every bank you mentioned. But many people do not know that treasury interacts with two other departments very, very closely. And if there is a flaw in that interaction, then this may end up a catastrophe to that company. And these two departments are nothing but accounting and investor relation. Of course, I spoke a lot about accounting, and I am the only one who made video on the YouTube openly challenging that accounting is the most fraudulent practice we have as we speak. Now, whether this is KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, EY, everyone involved in a list of scandals. But that's a separate thing that in a country like India, the license of none of the credit rating got revoked. And it would never happen. We'll speak on this separately. There is another department which should have a very good consensus with the Treasury Department, and that is known as Investor Relation Department. Many Einstein, Edison, Newton, Graham Bell feels that investor relation is all about public company like Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, probably Google, and all these public companies. And many more than Einstein's, more than Newton, feel that investor relation is only applicable when the size of the company is bigger than or equivalent to what I talked, like Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and all these companies. But these Einstein, Edisons, and Newtons are not aware that investor relation is a mandatory department. Because whether you are a public company or you are a private company, there are certain documentation you need to make on a periodic basis. Some on a monthly basis, some on a quarterly basis, some on a 6 month basis, which is half, some on a yearly basis, just like annual reports and 10K. Now there is a like I give you a few examples. Like on a monthly basis, there is a concept called company dashboard. And this dashboard goes to the top level of the organization. the chief executive officers, the chief financial officers, probably the chief revenue officers, chief investment officers, chief technology officers, all these will get a copy of that. And they need to comment on this. They need to comment on this. But having said that, there is one important concept. Who will make this? Who would be making this? It is the duty of the investor relation department who would be making this. But having said that, the investor relation department never gets or make these report on a standalone basis. They always get the data. And from where they get the data? They get the data from, treasury department. They get the data from accounting department. They get the data from revenue department. They get the data from different departments. But they never make the data standalone. They only compile it. And that is something which we need to learn. Now, this is part one. See you in the part two. Welcome to part second of the video titled Investor Relation Department. To be in an investor relation department, you need to have at least jack of all or probably master of none. So let me give you a simplistic example, very simplistic example. All the big companies like Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, all these companies, they have business across the globe. Since they have business across the globe, they are subject to have currency fluctuation in their books. Because let's take an example of Amazon. Amazon is having business in dollar, GBP, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, probably Singapore dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar. You just name the currency and they do not have the business. And sometimes they get hit also because of currency movement. So today, if euro will come to 1, which is currently 1.10, then Amazon is having exposure in Europe because they have their business in Europe. They would substantially hit if they not hedged. If they not hedged in an appropriate way. That would be the better word. Amazon will get hit. But there are three forms of hedging: cash flow hedging, fair value hedging, and net investment hedging. Amazon is such a big and wonderful company. So common sense reflects they are taking all three. I'm not here deliberating what the hell is cash flow hedging, what the hell is fair value hedging, what is net investment hedging. That you please check yourself. I have uploaded many videos on YouTube explaining them, including liquidity swaps. If you are a person working in the investor relation department, you are aware that every quarter analyst would be getting your financials because you are a listed company. An analyst would love to ask one simple question, which is, Suppose in this quarter you reported 10 billion of profit, assuming the analyst would be asking, guys, on a live conference call, guys, let us know out of this 10 billion you reported, how much is the impact of FX fluctuations? Just this they would be asking. And the CEO will not have the time to have compute this. He needs a ready-made answer. Probably the CFO would be replying to this query. And he need a ready-made answer. So if I am from an investor relationship department of Amazon, who is, by the way, is the largest e-commerce player, the share price is near about $3,300 per stock, then I need to make this numerical analysis ready. How would be the answer? Sir, suppose Morgan Stanley analyst asking from Goldman Sachs, from Amazon, that you have reported 10 billion of PAT. PAT means bottom line, profit after tax. Out of this 10 billion, how much is the currency valuation, currency impact? Then this would be the answer if I am from investor relationship department. So 35% of the revenue of Amazon is coming from USD. And Amazon is a principally US based company, which means we are having zero exposure. Now, in this quarter, 65% of the revenue came other than dollar, which includes GBP, Euro, Swiss franc, and all. Tick, tick, this is the composition. So, example, GBP 5% revenue is coming, Euro 7% revenue is coming, probably Euro 15% revenue is coming, Swiss franc 5% revenue is coming, like this, tick, 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 total 65%. The total hedge book, as we speak, multi-currency hedge book, which is cash flow, is near about $1.8 billion. And as we speak, the mark to market, which I'm talking L1, is $550 million. Now, having said that, we have L2, L1 exposure, L2 exposure, and L3 exposure, which is as per fair valuation hierarchy. But your question is the impact on the PAT, which is called bottom line. So the reclassification adjustment booked by the accounting team in the last quarter is roughly $45 million. While the MTM reversal, which includes mark-to-market reversal, is $100 million. Fortunately, the reclassification adjustment and MTM reversal both in the credit side of the P&L, which means $145 million. So, to reply, out of 10 billion PAT, which is profit after tax or bottom line, reported by reported by Amazon, $145 million belongs to the FX adjustment. Question answered. Now let Morgan Stanley to compute 145 million out of 10 billion. Probably maximum he could ask from you, what is this number in the last quarter? So tell me this number in the last 5 quarters. This is maximum he could ask. And you need to get ready for that. Investor relation is one of the most powerful department in the organization. Because like front office, like I dealt in front office, in the front office, we deal with markets, we deal with banks, we deal with depository institutions, we deal with hedge funds and all. Similarly, investor relation department or the officers of the investor relation deal with the analyst. and the analyst mindset. That's very important. Henceforth, they need to understand one thing very, very carefully, that they can be asked anything which may be uncomfortable to them. I repeat, which may be uncomfortable to them. Numerical analysis is very important, and the example which I stated is one of the most simplistic example I gave in the world of investor relation. That's very important. But unfortunately, during my career, even after my career, and now I have my own fund, I interacted with many investor relation officers. One consensus is very clear, that majority of the reporting in the investor relation is below par, except the top American banks like Goldman, JP. Their reporting is above excellence. And the job of the investor relation officer is more complicated when you are at Basel 3, like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and all of them. Because here the level of reporting, the complexity of reporting is more than what you even cannot envisage. Of course, as the time progresses, we would be covering more on that. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You knew my personal number, which is 9899242978. You can have our back office number 9818485155. We are very soon launching a lot of training programs for investor relations. Have a great time.